Statement in the Diddy trial. I have told the FBI all of Diddy's secrets. I have also revealed where Diddy.
I provided testimony in the legal proceedings against Sean Combs, known as Diddy, sharing with the FBI everything I know about his activities, including the locations of his alleged secret tunnels and handing over compromising tapes. My actions have ensured that Diddy faces significant consequences, making his release from custody highly unlikely. Reflecting on this, I find it difficult to voice complaints knowing that many of my idols, like Martin Luther King Jr., Jesus, and even some family members, endured similar struggles for speaking out. When you expose truths and challenge powerful figures, backlash is inevitable. I recall a time when the so-called Illuminati began targeting him, prompting my departure from that circle. Back then, a close associate was so paranoid he wore Kevlar to bed, a testament to the fear that permeated our environment. The reality is, you can't expose systemic issues without facing hatred, especially when it involves influential deviants who are now facing scrutiny in 2024. Whether it's Diddy or others like him, their lies are unraveling. Growing up, I shared a bond with a friend from childhood like brothers. We'd wrestle over simple things like frosted flakes long before the world of fame and controversy. Reflecting on those simpler times, I think about the Diddy parties I attended. Not all were scandalous. Some were family-friendly events with children present. But the darker side existed, parties where you'd never want to be alone. Stories circulate about wild incidents, and the fear of exposure keeps many silent. The recent lawsuit against Diddy isn't just about one man. It's a warning about a system that shields the wealthy and powerful. Even when evidence like hidden cameras is revealed, the elite seem untouchable. Celebrities like LeBron James and Ashton Kutcher have alluded to the exclusivity of Diddy's events, hinting at what stays hidden. The message is clear: if you know the right people, the rules don't apply. The Department of Justice and FBI recently claimed that Jeffrey Epstein's client list, long promised to reveal powerful names, never existed. This came shortly after Diddy's conviction was announced, raising suspicions. The administration insists it's committed to holding criminals accountable, claiming to have done more than its predecessors. Yet the absence of Epstein's list feels like a cover-up, protecting those at the top. I've spoken out before, turning down massive sums, $50 million multiple times, to preserve my integrity. Diddy and others like him face exposure now, and those who feel threatened by these revelations know why. The lawsuits against Diddy began surfacing after my warnings, and allegations suggest figures like Lucian Grange, a music industry titan, were complicit in Diddy's activities, possibly even controlling him. Universal Music Group allegedly knew about these notorious parties, yet Diddy operated as their enforcer, collecting compromising material on attendees. The fear of exposure is real. Hidden cameras documented everything, and those caught on tape, whether in compromising acts or simply cheating, hope silence will protect them. I've spoken about these parties on stage years ago, describing scenes of open debauchery. At the time, people dismissed me as unhinged or addicted, but the truth is emerging. The industry has a history of pressuring stars to compromise themselves, much like Harvey Weinstein's untouchable power. I've always approached these situations like a superhero, doing what's right regardless of the cost. The pattern is clear: Epstein, Diddy, and others like them supply what the elite desire, operating as gatekeepers for those truly in control. I've heard rumors about my purchase of a military base in Alabama, inspired by Tyler Perry's transformation of a base into a studio. Unlike Perry, I'm not compromising my principles or conforming to industry expectations. Perry's success, built on roles that often required him to cross-dress, contrasts with actors like Samuel L. Jackson or Denzel Washington, who've avoided such roles. Perry allegedly warned his actors against associating with me after seeing me at one of Diddy's parties, where he seemed to revel in the environment. I've also heard troubling accounts about friends like Tim Durant and Lamont Rucker who weren't the same after working with Perry. These stories point to a deeper issue in the industry where power dynamics and blackmail keep people in line. Diddy's not guilty verdict on RICO charges didn't surprise me. He was never the mastermind, just a middleman for those pulling the strings. The real players, record label owners, executives, and even government figures remain unmentioned. Diddy's rise was enabled because he served a purpose, much like Epstein in the music world, collecting dirt on the influential. His legal troubles, from the 1991 City College stampede to the Club New York shooting, never stuck, suggesting protection from higher powers. Now that his name is too toxic, they've discarded him. The history of sexual blackmail in the industry traces back to figures like J. Edgar Hoover and Meyer Lansky. Hoover, who led the FBI for decades, was blackmailed by Lansky with compromising photos, leading him to host his own blackmail parties at the Plaza Hotel's Blue Suite. These events, filled with cross-dressing and orgies, were recorded to control powerful attendees. Diddy's mentor, a wealthy and influential figure, played a similar role, elevating Diddy to run Bad Boy Records and continue these tactics. Artists like Usher, Meek Mill, and even Justin Bieber were ensnared, creating an industry where fear of exposure stifles dissent. Jaguar Wright has claimed Jay-Z orchestrated Diddy's downfall, just as he allegedly set up others like Dalvin, Big L, Dame Dash, and even Aaliyah to maintain his dominance. Wright suggests Jay-Z's jealousy over Aaliyah's relationship with Dash led to her death, a claim echoed by Mary J. Blige, who called it a spiritual murder. Dash confirmed tensions with Jay-Z over Aaliyah, and rumors persist that her death benefited Beyoncé's career. Wright also accuses Jay-Z of targeting R. Kelly, using his friendship with Dream Hampton, producer of Surviving R. Kelly, to expose him while continuing to work with him post-scandal. This pattern of eliminating rivals keeps Jay-Z untouchable. The Epstein case mirrors Diddy's. When Epstein became too controversial, he was declared a suicide, and Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted without naming clients. The recent claim that Epstein's client list never existed contradicts earlier statements, like Attorney General Pam Bondi's assertion that it was on her desk. The FBI's released footage of Epstein's cell, meant to confirm his suicide, raises questions. Malfunctioning cameras, sleeping guards, and an autopsy suggesting strangulation. The cell in the footage doesn't match earlier photos, fueling skepticism. This isn't just corruption, it's a psychological operation. The elite are openly gaslighting us, admitting they can act with impunity. They don't care if we know the truth, as long as we feel powerless. From Diddy to Epstein, the message is clear: the powerful protect their own, and no one else matters. I've been warning about this for years, not just about one individual, but about a system that thrives on control and silence. The Diddy case is just one chapter in a larger story of manipulation, where the truth is suppressed, and those who speak out are vilified. But the lies are unraveling, and more will be exposed as the system's cracks widen.